Q-Force, the forthcoming Netflix animated adult comedy series out on September 2nd, had its wings clipped before it could truly get off the ground. Back in June, during the last weekend of Pride Month, the streaming giant released a teaser for the show about a diverse group of LGBTQ spies, an obvious attempt to get queer people hyped for the series. "Hey, Twink," Agent Mary says excitedly in the opening. "Oh, hey, girl." Twink responds, "That's my job, Daddy." Some Twitter users blasted the 40-second clip and said it showcased characters who leaned into harmful and outdated stereotypes about queer people. Yes, because gay people love to be portrayed in a way where their whole personality trait revolves around being gay, one disappointed person said. Somebody really said, "Let's make an unfunny gay version of Archer," and they just went with it, another person expressed. The best description I have heard about this show is that this would have been made in 2005 with the intent to offend, another added. Essentially, the trailer didn't feel like a celebration of queerness, but a series of jokes made by queer people in order to mock gayness. One person who worked on the show even said as much, "I am one of the many queer artists who worked on this show, and boy can I say with confidence that the trailer is awful," animator Alana Train said amid the furor. The clips they chose and how they edited them together remove all plot, character dynamics, and heart the show actually has. Having seen all 10 episodes of the series, created by Sean Hayes and Michael Schur, I can definitely say the initial trailer does not do the show any favors. Hayes first stole our hearts with his iconic character Jack McFarland in the late 90s on Will and Grace, while Schur has produced some of the most memorable comedies in recent years, including The Office, Parks and Recreation, as well as The Good Place. But, unfortunately, Q-Force simply isn't that good. And the few laughs that did manage to escape my mouth as I watched weren't nearly hearty enough to make me love it. Though the show has some charm, it's weighed down by uninteresting characters and dull jokes, which are really just random utterances of pop culture trivia like the names of actors, singers, and certain films. And though the show tries not to make its rainbow coalition of spice textbook stereotypes, it doesn't completely succeed, especially when it comes to its queer women characters. Spoilers ahead. Q-Force begins with a flashback of Steve Merriweather, nicknamed Agent Mary, the valedictorian of his class at the American Intelligence Agency. He comes out during his graduation speech, acknowledging that this special moment is happening the same year as the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But before Steve can continue, he is pushed aside by the agency's director, Dirk Schuenle, who decides, on the spot, that Steve isn't the valedictorian. That honor instead goes to Agent Rick Buck, who just happens to be straight, the director says. Steve's dreams of leading the institution are dashed, and he's relegated to covering a territory deemed a much better fit for a gay man, West Hollywood. Flash forward to present day, Steve still hasn't recovered from his emotional snafu a decade earlier. One morning, he gets a taunting call from his old anti-gay nemesis, Buck, 10 years in the field, 3 medals of honor. Remind me, who's head of the class now? Feeling dejected and frustrated that his team hasn't received a mission in years, Steve and his colleagues, Deb, a black lesbian who, without question, is the funniest character on the show, Agent Stacked, a goth hacker who often feels like an outcast among the rest of the group, and Agent Twink, a master of disguise and drag queen, decide to go rogue. Following a tip from Twink, the team uncovers an illegal nuclear arms deal that the AIA otherwise wouldn't have known about. The AIA begrudgingly tasks the team with finding additional information. But that moment of glory is short-lived because Buck returns in person, this time with orders from Schuenle to babysit the sodomites. Quips like this make the show less interesting. Presumably Buck is meant to be a stand-in for an ignorant straight person. He constantly makes remarks at the expense of the Q-Force team, calling them the Spice Girls or ya chicks. It's obvious that his character's purpose is to be an asshole, but the way he is written feels lazy. He's sometimes met with some sort of fabulously queer pushback, but his attacks just come across as extremely annoying, because they are relentless. And it's not only Buck who suffers from this one-note treatment, though characters aren't completely reduced to stereotypes like the initial Q-Force trailer seemed to imply. Many of the comedic moments relied on common misconceptions about queer people. Sykes isn't given a lot to work with as Deb. It's a testament to Sykes' skill, both as an actor and a comedian, that she manages to consistently outshine her cast mates. Even the trite jokes about lesbians feel a bit more jazzed up because of Sykes' talent. Damn. Does every neighborhood out here have its own doctor and airport? Deb says after an aircraft whooshes by. Shit, me and Pan might pack up the U-Haul tonight. Other comedic moments fall flat simply because they feel a little too much like Inside Baseball. In episode 5, titled WeHo Confidential, Twink and Steve team up to find out why several gay men have been going missing. It's revealed that the police department in WeHo has been capturing actors and making them create non-union superhero TV. As Twink and Steve watch things play out from afar, one of the actors breaks down, saying, "Please. We've been filming for 3 days straight. We need a break." A man in front of a teleprompter replies, "Well, how about you try the writer's room?" The actor is dragged away, screaming, "No, not the writer's room. Please just kill me instead." Okay, whatever that means. The series, though sometimes slow-moving, finds its footing toward the middle. If you know anything about queer history, it won't be hard to figure out, but there's a plot point that focuses on the secrets the AIA would like to keep hidden. Despite it being the most interesting part of the show, we don't spend more time with the characters after the big reveal, which feels like a wasted opportunity. There's also the character Stat, the loner of the group who is by far one of the more fascinating personalities. Stat embarks on a relationship with an android named Jacqueline, and it's genuinely compelling, though it does not last long before it, too, is polished off. Long story short, the relationship ends in a way that's sort of tragic yet noble. This could be taken as a commentary about how fleeting love can be for queer people, but even still, the show becomes a lot less enjoyable to watch once the relationship fizzles. If anything good does come out of Q-Force, it will likely be memes. This show is ripe with one-liners that will probably have a longer life in the Twitter sphere. "The gays love me, and I love the gays," says Twig, in disguise as Ariana Grande, followed by the line, "Shout out to my gay brother Frankie, who is gay." Unfortunately, cute wisecracks alone do not make a great show. While Q-Force isn't as egregious as one may have been led to believe, it certainly isn't great either. It's a show that toes the line between blah and decent. Though it pains me to pen a work made by and for queer people, I'm heartened by the fact that we now live in an age where there are a lot more queer stories to choose from reality shows like RuPaul's Drag Race and Queer Eye to prestige dramas like It's a Sin, Special, and Pose, and so much more. I wanted Q-Force to be a lot more fun, but in the end it was kind of a drag.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.